sound. So don't question me about my thing. Just do your thing and be cool. Cause I know exactly who I am. Don't worry about it, homie, do you. Cause I've been rapping for a minute now. Used to walk around dead, but I'm living now. I'm just being myself. And evidently people gon' hate when you come up with a different sound. They say.
Tokers, cheers. Welcome back to another edition of the Daily Chronicles, y'all. What up? It's Rodney here. Yo, today I got my dude Dan from Michigan Gems and Genetics on the show today. Everybody, Dan, welcome to the show, my dude.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely, man. I really, you know, I've been seeing Michigan Gems and Genetics, you know, pop up for a while now, you know, and it's. I hate to stumble about that, but you start seeing all of these events popping up, you know, the Big Clouds events, you've got Gems and Genetics, you've got, you know, there was that Cannabash event that everybody, you know, and all of these other huge events that are popping up. What takes Michigan Gems and Genetics and separates it from the generic, you know, other ones that have happened thus far?
I mean, we just try to stay, you know, real as we can of just working with these local-based brands, you know, caregivers, you know, as far as in the community. And, you know, we try to set ourselves apart as far as trying to embrace people, you know, coming here free of charge. You know, we're trying to set that trend where, you know, if you're a caregiver or patient, you could be able to attend our events free of charge. And I kind of think that sets us apart a little bit from the other ones. But they're all great, you know, and it's something that our community's been waiting for years. So
dude, I feel that now. And, yeah, you know, yeah, like it's I like that because like there were some events that, you know, obviously people have asked us to come to and people have asked, you know, us to be at, and we were there. And then I look at the ticket prices of some of these places and I'm like, that for what? Like, people have weed at home they could smoke, you know, or you know, you're not convincing me. However, what I'm hearing about Michigan Gems and Genetics, that's absolutely free. So that taken out of the equation, that kind of, to me, incentivizes people to check it out. You know?
Yeah, and plus, you know, it kind of, you know, makes people think, you know, they got that med card, and it kind of pays off in other ways too. You know, you can possibly get into these events half off or free of charge. And yeah, I think it's the right thing to do. Some of these events, it might be a little bit higher price to get in, but depending on the acts and, you know, your certain artists that are there, it might be worth it. We're trying to keep it low ticket price, especially right now with the economy, you know, high gas prices. Just trying to get people to come out, check us out.
Yeah.
And, you know, I know if I was on the other end and I seen this event where it was free to get in, caregivers and patients, I know I'd be there at least to come check it out and see what's going on. So we can, you know, we encourage everyone to come out, try, you know, check us out and see what we got going on. Try to have a good time.
So you've convinced me to come check it out. You've convinced, you know, me to get up off my couch and come check it out. Upon arrival, what can I expect? Like, I mean, what do I look forward to? Like, what's going to happen there?
You know, there's going to be dozens of vendors there. There'll be some arts and crafts. We'll have live music and DJ. There will be a cannabis for hospitality. We also have, you know, it is on a campground, so we do have the permit for campsites as far as tent sites and camper sites. And you can pay for all that at the gates. Tent sites are $15 for tent sites.
That's not bad. That's not bad at all.
$30 for campers. So, you know, as a caregiver or patient, you can come there, check the place out, and, you know, we even have that commodity for you to stay for $15 in a tent or $30 in a camper per night.
Now, I got a real quick question. Hot take, hot topic, real quick in Michigan, okay? If I were to come to your event, okay, can I bring my own medicinally or adult use cannabis?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. That right there, that sets you bar none above everything. A, no entry fee. Zero entry fee. B, if you want to accidentally spend the night in a tent, which sounds amazing, you know what I'm saying? $15, ain't you breaking the bank. Ain't nobody doing you dirty. And then, at that, you can bring your own medicine. There's not another cannabis event out there that I could tell you in the state of Michigan, at least, where you can bring your own medicine.
Oh, there's probably some out there,
Well, I would hope so, but this is the first I've heard of. Yeah.
As far as the regulated ones, I'm sure they have to stick to some rules where, and I'm sure they like those rules too, where you can't bring in your own medicine or cannabis products.
But they conveniently got it there for you.
Understand, everyone may have different products that they rely on and that they don't go anywhere without. You get what I'm saying? So,
right.
They're free to bring in their amount that they can lawfully carry. That's fine. It's no big deal. We don't encourage people to walk through with massive amounts trying to backpack the event or trying to do things they're not supposed to do. But definitely, come on out. This is cannabis friendly event. Cannabis friendly camping. So. Yeah, we don't have any problems with that.
Okay, great. I mean, and these are some of the questions that not only myself, as a consumer, but I've heard other people ask about other events that I've seen being done. Another event, there was an issue, not really per se an issue, but it was more along the lines of, how did it go? How do I want to phrase this? So if a person doesn't want to bring their own medicinal use cannabis or adult use cannabis, okay, let's say that there are vendors there. What vendors will, currently be there? Anyone you want to give a shout out to? That being said, kind of give me an idea of is there going to be cannabis on site available for purchase?
Yeah, there's going to be a bunch of great vendors there, and they'll have all kinds of different products available. As far as shout outs to certain ones, there's so many great ones on the list.
Right.
Pick out a few. There's so many great talent on there. But to name a few, a Midnight Roots, Genetics, Scapegoat Genetics, State Line Farms, Kalamazoo Vines, Turk Wizard. I can go down the list. I mean, pretty much all of them are all solid, really solid, professional people within the industry and the community. So
what we'll do right now is we'll throw up right here in the screen, over the screen, we'll throw up a list of all of the vendors and people. There's the flyer that I have, so we'll throw that up right there for sure. Dude, I saw a lot of, I want to say heavy hitters in the caregiver industry on that list, and I was instantly intrigued. I've worked with a few of them personally, and some of us may or may not get along, and it is what it is. But the fact is, it ain't about us; it's about the caregivers, and I just want to kind of get your thoughts on the whole caregiver perspective. What do you see going on right now in Michigan cannabis?
I mean, they're still existing. There's still, a reason for them to be here, after a decade. I don't see them going anywhere. They, provide a great service to our communities. So, yeah, I highly support them.
I mean, that's kind of where I put this event, to tell you the truth, Gems and Genetics. A lot of caregiver-backed, caregiver-supported, just all-around caregivers' rights. I saw those, kind of aligning with Gems and Genetics, and that absolutely resonated with me immediately.
Well, yeah, a lot of the, vendors and, different people that are part of it, yeah, they got a lot of passionate views that stem from years in the past, being caregivers and pro-patient and everything like that. Even some of the band members, there's some bands that we've hired and they're even pro caregivers. You know, they're caregivers themselves, activists that been in the community for years. So yeah, you know, we try to stick, you know, with the, you know, the small businesses, the caregivers, the entrepreneurs, the people that have been kind of cornered and, you know, put in the mud, you know, throughout the past couple of years, you know, especially throughout that pandemic and everything. Yeah, so, you know, we're here to support those people. We're here to support the rural areas, you know, the rural areas, the, you know, the mom and pops, the small food vendors, the, you know, small farmers, the small processors, you know, arts and crafts dealers, whoever it may be, you know, on that local level.
Right. Right.
Yep.
Yeah. No, that aligns with everything that I am poetically. Let's admit. You know. I want to shout out real quick, if I may, my dudes in Artifice. Yo, their new album right now, Reflections. Go check it out. They sent me a neat little sticker. Love you, boys. Look forward to talking to you guys soon. Go pick it up. If you don't have it, you should. I know nobody really uses CDs. Listen to them on Spotify, y'all. Artifice.com. Check it out. Sorry, I promised them I would do that. You know, you should. We'll definitely get you a copy of one of their albums or something. I think you should start with Inhuman. Honestly, to tell you the truth, that was one of my favorites. But Reflections is really good. Anyway, so
yeah, send me something a little bit later on that.
Yeah, absolutely, dude, absolutely will. I mean, I'd like to see them, you know, potentially play at a place like this. So that's why I love passing that on. They all are just like, absolutely, please, you know, and that's the point of it, right? Each one teach one. Anyway, so when I seen Gems and Genetics kind of come up to the scene, you know, my question is, I never really saw the full story. It just, you know, I knew you started it, and I knew it happened, and I kind of seen it go from there. What I really want to know is this: where did the whole concept or idea of Gems and Genetics come from?
Well, you know, we've always attended events, you know, always, you know, in the past years ago, and, you know, always were inspired by these events. And, you know, eventually, you know, the big one, you know, High Times Cannabis Cup, we weren't allowed to vend there anymore, you know. After 2019, you know, you had to be licensed or whatever. You know, and just, you know, sticking with the events and going to all kinds of different events throughout the state. And then, you know, after, you know, the recreational law, and then all of a sudden the pandemic hit, and that kind of just slowed up the events. And then 2022 hit, and it was like, okay, you know, we're out here, and we're kind of trying to fill this out and see how these events go. And so, you know, pretty much right now, we're just, you know, feeling things out of how these events will, you know, go in the future. Right now, it looks really good. So, but how it pretty much came about, you know, I'm attending a lot of them, and I just felt like I could put something together a little better. I felt like I can do it on my own. And plus, you know, a lot, you know, some of them, you know, higher cost vending, and, you know, you see that, you're like, you know, you feel like you could put on a show just as good, if not better.
And my question is this: we've talked about this event, Gems and Genetics, coming up. Here it is. We'll throw it on the screen again. What's the address?
4398 New Costa Ave, Morley, Michigan. It was 49336.
Beautiful.
Yep, it's just off 131. Highway 131. It's just like 30 minutes north of Grand Rapids. Pretty easy to get there. Yeah. Yep, it's pretty much just off the highway, and then just a couple back roads, and you're there. So, and it's a great venue. Yep, really beautiful venue. We're right across the street from Hardy Dam, so there's a boat launch down there, and we do have a bathhouse and a country store on site where, you know, the bathhouse, there's showers and bathrooms there, and then in the country store, you know, all your things you may need for camping and whatever else, you know. So, yeah, and then, we're sitting on 200 acres. We got a bunch of camping area and So yeah, we encourage everyone to come on out.
Yeah, I really hope that I see more of these happen in the future, not just because of like, oh, you can smoke weed there. Real talk, you can smoke weed anywhere, and we've been doing it for years, so let's not fucking kid ourselves here. But at the same time, I love seeing the campgrounds that are coming up with these, and the hotels and all the tourist attractions. This is how it starts, y'all. I'm digging this. All right, I'm digging this because eventually, homie, like it's just going to be year-round open, isn't it? Ideally.
Yeah. Well, the big thing with events is, these people that are building events, each event that's built, it builds stronger communities too, So
this is true.
We got to kind of stick together on this type of things and, support, even if it is, something where it's far away or something, it's on the other side of the state. Maybe come on out, come check it out, support that event, support the people that are trying to, put things together for, our locals and our, mom and pop small businesses and, caregivers and such. So.
Absolutely, man. It's, thank you first and foremost for like doing something like this. It takes a lot of work to do an event in Michigan. It absolutely does. It takes a lot of work to do more than one event in Michigan, let alone, 2, 3, and then being involved and doing what you do. Now, outside of, Michigan Gems and Genetics, what do you find yourself, having time for, honestly?
Pretty much just, as far as on Instagram and Facebook, but, we also do some ground game where we'll go out to your dispensaries, head shops, and such, things like that, of that nature, and, hang up flyers, get approved to get our flyers in there, and then, we are in a magazine, stuff like that. So, yeah, I mean, it's definitely difficult, but, this isn't the only thing I do, I definitely have time for a lot of different things, so, but yeah, it's nothing, easy, I'll tell you that.
There is a reason I asked that question in that specific order, because I'm not interested to know what your profession is. I can just look and see that he's an entrepreneur, you know what I mean, of sorts. He does everything that needs to be done, per se, and things of that nature. I don't want to know what one, it really is, do you have the time to enjoy life outside of putting in work? And from what I'm hearing is a resounding yes, and that's the point. In order to have time, you need to make time. And in order to make time, it's a very vicious tautology that we find ourselves in, in the thought process. And that's where you really just have to find, what can I, where can I make time? And a lot of people are trying to have that issue these days, and speaking of not having enough time, Michigan last week lost one of its own, Michigan cannabis, fighters and warriors, that devastated a lot of people. But, and I was talking to Dan a little bit in the green room before the show today. I was like, that fired up, this whole generation of people.
I think there's more to come when it comes to that, movement, and as far as the support for caregivers. Like I said, I don't think they're going anywhere. I think that, they do have a lot of support. There is a lot of great people in good places that do understand the need for caregiver rights and for caregivers. So I don't think that's going anywhere, but definitely, we've got to make sure that, these people and their patients, the services they provide are protected. So they do a diligent service to our communities.
Oh, absolutely. I've noticed you kind of, refer to that kind of in third person a little bit, and I would be remiss if I didn't point out, do you find yourself doing these as caregivers or just somebody as in the medical, like where would you kind of, do you find you align with caregivers most? Like I'm trying to just figure out where you would put yourself if you had to.
Oh, if I had to, I'm all for growing at home and the small business caregiver side, but I'm also for the regulated commercial side of things. but I'm
Okay.
not for people that try to corner a market and put others, you know, at the mercy of them with, you know,
Okay.
so.
Yeah. No, I find a lot of similarities in my own personal views like that. For example, and I've said this many times before, and people watching the show know this. I believe in 3 facets of cannabis. 1, grow at home, you know. 2, caregiver, you know, craft, artisan market. 3, corporate cannabis. All 3 can and very well should be able to exist if they didn't bleed over into each other. Well, we're not finding the caregivers bleeding over into anything. We're not finding anybody growing at home bleeding over into anything. But we are finding that corporate wants to bleed over into everything, and that's the issue. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, they can exist all together, and they have been. It seems like right now, you know, if any market's doing the best, it's probably the caregiver market. You know,
I would agree.
You know, and then as far as the quality, it's probably, you know, the caregiver market.
I would agree.
I'm looking at it on a broad, you know, so right now, you know, as far as like the metric, you know, the licensed guys, they're probably getting only around, you know, $500-600 to maybe $1,200 a pound, and then your rec guys are probably getting $800 to maybe $1,400 a pound, and then your quality, you know, experienced caregivers, they're probably most likely still getting $1,400 to $2,000. So, and you got to look at those markets. And there's a reason for that. I mean, look at the quality of each market. You know, you got the, you know, rec, you know, at that quality, and then you got metric where it's pretty much kind of below that even, most of it. And then you got the caregiver market where it's still, you know, your craft, high-end, you know, top shelf.
Yeah, like you were saying, the top shelf, you know, and it's interesting because, like, I did a video a little bit, and we'll flash back to it real quick, about caregiver versus corporate cannabis. I got lucky and had, you know, the same strain. Obviously, it's going to taste different, but I did a side-by-side comparison. That's what, you know, anybody wants to take a look. But I do agree that as of right now, the best market is the caregiver market. You know, I think that because the quality is there. That's the truth. Where you find quality, you're going to find people wanting that, you know, and I myself am a card-holding patient, you know, so that's the truth. You know, dude, I appreciate you coming on. I feel like we don't do it justice sometimes, you know, to talk about like the small things that we do or the small things that happen. You know, we don't give ourselves a chance to achieve greater dreams before we, you know, just are self-defeating in the process, man. And one more time, do me a favor, Michigan Gems and Genetics, y'all, on Instagram, go check them out. Tell people where they can find Michigan Gems and Genetics this August, excuse me.
Yeah, you can find us on Instagram at Michigan_Gems and Genetics, and then, you know, on Facebook, you know, Michigan Gems and Genetics, same thing. Feel free to reach out, and yeah, there's tickets at the gates for caregivers and patients. You just got to show up with your med card and your ID. You must be 21 and up. And yeah, come on out, come check us out, come have a good time.
Let's get it, y'all. Go check them out, Michigan Gems and Genetics. I can tell you this: if I'm looking at the calendar now, I don't think I have anything going on, so I might have to scoot on out that way. You know, definitely gonna check it out myself. I mean, I should, right? That's the truth. But all right, y'all, my tokers, my jokers, my smokers. This has been another amazing episode of the Daily CHRONIClez, y'all. I want to thank Dan, my dude from Michigan Genetics, for coming on the show. Y'all, again, go check out Michigan Gems and Genetics. But until another time, y'all, let's see you guys on the flip. Peace. My tokers, jokers, and smokers.